It's 10:30 at night. You're 17. You're driving down a narrow road in a quiet Massachusetts town, and your headlights sweep across an old stone wall. For a split second, you think it's just an animal. Then it moves. It has a massive melon-shaped head, glowing eyes that reflect the light, and long, thin fingers gripping the rocks like a spider. It slowly turns and looks directly at you. In that moment, you realize you are not looking at anything you recognize, and it is looking back at you. Tonight we're talking about one of the strangest and most unsettling cryptid encounters in American history, the Dover Demon. In April of 1977, Dover, Massachusetts was the kind of town where nothing happened. Small population, thick woods. But over the course of just 24 hours, 3 different teenagers claimed they saw the same unexplainable creature. Not weeks apart, not years apart, within one single night. The first sighting happened on April 21st, 1977. 17-year-old Bill Bartlett was driving down Farm Street around 10:30 p.m. with friends in the car. The road was dark, barely lit except by the car's headlights. As the beams passed over a low stone wall, Bill noticed something perched on top of it. At first, his brain tried to label it as normal. Maybe a dog, maybe a deer. But the proportions were wrong. The head was far too large for the body. The limbs were thin and elongated. The creature's fingers were wrapped around the stones, and its eyes reflected the headlights with an eerie glow. Bill slowed down. For a few seconds, the creature and the car were locked in silence. Then it turned its head fully toward them. Just a slow, deliberate movement, as if it was just as curious about them as they were about it. Bill panicked and drove off. What makes this case powerful is what happened next. When he got home, Bill sketched the creature immediately. He drew it from memory while the image was still fresh in his mind. Under the drawing, he wrote that he swore on a stack of Bibles that he saw this creature. That sketch, with its oversized head and glowing eyes, would later become the defining image of the Dover Demon. But here's where it gets stranger. Just a few hours later, around midnight, 15-year-old John Baxter was walking home near Miller Hill Road. He noticed a small figure in the distance. At first, he thought it was someone he knew. Maybe a friend.
What is that?
Maybe someone trying to scare him. But as it got closer, the outline became clearer. The head was too big, the body too thin. It walked upright but awkwardly. Baxter described it as about 3 to 4 feet tall with long limbs and a large, rounded head. After a moment, the creature turned and moved toward a wooded ravine.
What was that?
Baxter, trying to prove to himself that he wasn't losing his mind, followed it down the slope. But when he reached the bottom, it was gone. If this were just one sighting, you could dismiss it as imagination. But there was a third. Around 12:30 a.m. that same night, 15-year-old Abby Brabham was driving with a friend down Springdale Avenue. She saw a small figure in the road and initially thought it was a child. As her headlights illuminated it, she realized something was wrong. The head was large and oddly shaped. The limbs were thin. The body looked hairless. The creature moved quickly off the road and into the woods, scrambling in a way that didn't seem entirely human or entirely animal. 3 teenagers, 3 separate encounters, all within a 24-hour window, all describing a similar being with a large head, thin body. When the story hit local newspapers, cryptozoologist Lauren Coleman gave the creature its now famous name, the Dover Demon. And once it had a name, it became something more than just a strange sighting. It became part of American cryptid history. So what was it? Some believe the Dover Demon was extraterrestrial. The description does resemble what many people associate with gray aliens: oversized head, large eyes, small frame. The late 1970s were already a time of increasing UFO fascination in America. Close Encounters of the Third Kind came out the same year. Alien imagery was becoming embedded in pop culture. But there were no UFO sightings reported in Dover that night. No strange lights in the sky. No missing time. Just a creature on the ground, clinging to rocks and wandering through wooded roads. Others argue it was a misidentified animal. A young moose, perhaps. A deformed calf. A hairless dog with mange. But moose don't have long fingers that grip stone walls. Calves don't move in that way. And monkeys aren't native to Massachusetts forests. But what makes this difficult to dismiss is the consistency across multiple witnesses who didn't coordinate their stories beforehand. There's also the possibility of a hoax. Teenagers making up a story for attention. But none of them tried to profit from it. If it was a hoax, it was one that brought them very little reward. The Dover demon never attacked anyone. It never made a sound. It didn't chase cars or break windows. It simply appeared, observed, and disappeared. That might be the most unsettling part. It behaved almost like a curious animal encountering humans for the first time. And that raises a question that makes this story linger longer than most. What if it wasn't something passing through? What if it was something that had always been there, hidden in plain sight, blending into the deep woods of New England? Dover returned to normal after that night. No confirmed follow-up sightings. No physical evidence ever recovered. The town didn't become a paranormal hotspot. The event exists as a strange blip in history, documented but unresolved. But here's the thing about stories like this. They stay with us because they happen in ordinary places, to ordinary people. Not trained paranormal investigators, not conspiracy theorists, just teenagers driving home on dark roads. And if you think this is the only case like this, it's not. There are other encounters, other nights, other headlights illuminating something that shouldn't be there. If you're not following this channel, you're going to miss those stories. The ones that don't make mainstream headlines. The ones that sit in police reports and local newspapers, waiting to be rediscovered. The next time we break down a case that's even stranger than this, you won't even know it happened.